the only recording capturing Hitler's regular speaking voice, known as the Hitler and Mannerheim recording, is truly astonishing. Recorded on June 4, 1942, during Hitler's covert visit to Finland for Mannerheim's 75th birthday, it occurred in Mannerheim's private wagon. Thor Damon, a YLE sound engineer, initially set up a microphone to record Hitler's formal speech. Unbeknownst to Hitler, Damon continued recording their subsequent private conversation. 11 minutes in, Hitler's SS guards spotted this and halted the recording, demanding the tape's destruction. However, YLE was permitted to keep the tape in a sealed container with the promise that it never be opened again, a promise upheld until its return in 1957 and eventual public release. It is the only known recording of Hitler speaking in an unofficial tone, and one of the very few recordings in which Hitler may be heard delivering a narrative without raising his voice. A link to a video with the full recording can be found in the description below. For some reason, it's common to assume that Hitler had a high-pitched, whiny voice. This unique recording reveals Hitler's surprisingly deep voice, akin to James Earl Jones or Darth Vader. Many of the comments on the video, linked in the description below, as well as on other parts of the internet, where the recording has been shared, have expressed absolute shock at how deep his voice was. I recall coming across a post on Quora, where someone shared an experience about listening to this recording on their laptop. Their girlfriend, who was nearby, overheard it and remarked something to the effect of, "Who is that? That's the sexiest voice I've ever heard," only to be in utter shock and disbelief when she learned that the voice belonged to Hitler. It's easy to see how he attracted so many people to his cause with such a voice. Being charismatic is unfortunately common among the most nefarious villains in history. Anyways, Speechify Studio has a feature called voice cloning that allows users to record or upload an audio file of less than 1 megabyte, and the software will clone the voice for text-to-speech. I wanted to test its ability to clone voices using audio of low quality and non-English languages, so I uploaded an MP3 version of the following 24-second excerpt from the Hitler and Mannerheim recording.
Musste diese riesige Umstellung unserer Divisionen vom Westen nach dem Osten vorgenommen werden. Erste Besetzung in hatten wir in Norwegen diese Aufgabe. Im selben Augenblick kam ein, ich darf es heute ruhig sagen, sehr großes Unglück über uns, nämlich die Schwächen, die sich in Italien ergeben hatten durch erstens die nordafrikanische Situation und zweitens durch die Situation in Albanien, Griechenland.
I also developed another voice by uploading an MP3 version of a 1-minute excerpt from the recording. This includes the previously played 24-second segment, followed by the following additional 36-second segment.
Ein ganz großes Unglück. Wir mussten nun helfen. Das bedeutete für uns mit einem Schlag zunächst wieder eine Zerreißung unserer Luftwaffe, Zerreißung unserer Panzerverbände, während wir gerade dabei waren, die Panzerverbände hier für den Osten fertig zu machen, mussten wir nun in einem Schlag 2 Divisionen, 2 geschlossene Divisionen, es ist dann eine dritte geworden, abgeben und dauernd sehr große Verluste dort ergänzen. Es sind doch blutige Kämpfe gewesen, die in der Wüste ausgebrochen.
It was much deeper than you thought, wasn't it? As this recording was of subpar quality and in German, I thought the voice cloning tool would do a poor job of cloning his voice for English words, but boy was I wrong. It sounds exactly like the voice in the recording speaking in English. If you want to hear how Hitler might have sounded if he was speaking to you in English, keep watching. Let's first start off with some famous Hitler quotes. Here's the quote, using the voice developed with the 24-second excerpt.
The receptivity of the masses is very limited, their intelligence is small, but their power of forgetting is enormous. In consequence of these facts, all effective propaganda must be limited to very few points, and must harp on these in slogans until the last member of the public understands what you want him to understand.
And here's the quote, using the voice developed with the 1-minute excerpt.
The receptivity of the masses is very limited, their intelligence is small, but their power of forgetting is enormous. These facts, all effective propaganda must be limited to very few points, and must harp on these in slogans until the last member of the public understands what you want him to understand.
I believe the 24-second voice does a better job at mimicking his voice, but the 1-minute voice is much easier to understand. Both of these uploaded samples had significant background noise and were of low quality overall, which led to the AI's output also having background noise and subpar quality, with extended pauses. Speechify recommends using high-quality samples without background noise for optimal results. Nevertheless, considering these factors, the AI still performed impressively in replicating Hitler's voice, didn't it? Let's test it further with more quotes from Hitler. The following examples will first be showcased using the 24-second voice, followed by the 1-minute voice.
He who would live must fight. He who doesn't wish to fight in this world where permanent struggle is a law of life has not the right to exist. He who would live must fight. He who doesn't wish to fight in this world where permanent struggle is the law of life has not the right to exist. A state like Switzerland, which is nothing but a pimple on the face of Europe, cannot be allowed to continue. A state like Switzerland, which is nothing but a pimple on the face of Europe, cannot be allowed to continue. The English language lacks the ability to express thoughts that surpass the order of concrete things. It's because the German language has this ability that Germany is the country of thinkers. The English language lacks the ability to express thoughts that surpass the order of concrete things. It's because the German language has this ability that Germany is the country of thinkers.
In my earlier video titled How Hitler Was Even More Evil Than You Thought, the little-known stories of his many Jewish friends, which you should totally check out, there were comments mentioning difficulty in understanding a Hitler quote delivered in a computer-generated stereotypical German accent. So, let's hear how this same quote sounds when presented in a cloned version of Hitler's actual voice. For this particular quote, I will only use the 24-second voice.
Once I really am in power, my first and foremost task will be the annihilation of the Jews. As soon as I have the power to do so, I will have gallows built in rows. At the Marienplatz in Munich, for example, as many as traffic allows, then the Jews will be hanged indiscriminately. They will remain hanging until they stink. They will hang there as long as the principles of hygiene permit. As soon as they have been untied, then the next batch will be strung up. Will be and so on down the line, until the last Jew in Munich has been exterminated. Other cities will follow suit. Precisely in this fashion until all Germany has been completely cleansed of Jews.
And finally, many of you might know the Darth Vader vs. Adolf Hitler rap battle trilogy from Epic Rap Battles of History, where Hitler, portrayed by Epicloid, has a high-pitched, whiny voice. Let's find out how the iconic first verse from the trilogy's initial battle would sound in a cloned version of Hitler's actual voice. For this particular verse, I will only use the 1-minute voice. Here's the original verse from that rap battle.
I am Adolf Hitler, command of the Third Reich. Little known fact, also dope on the mic. You are Vader, with your little boots and cape, and helmet to cover up that burnt-ass face. You have the force to move objects. I am a force truly evil, even went back in time and turned you back as a prequel. Cause look at you, you're not even a real person. I preferred you in Spaceballs, the Rick Moranis version.
And here is the same verse, but this time using the cloned version of Hitler's actual voice.
I am Adolf Hitler, commander of the Third Reich. Little known fact, also dope on the mic, you are Vader with your little boots and cape and helmet to cover up that burnt-ass face. You have the force to move objects. I am a force truly evil. Even went back in time and turned you whack in the prequel. Because look at you, you're not even a real person. I preferred you in Spaceballs, the Rick Moranis version.
So there you have it. This should provide a clear sense of how Hitler's voice would sound like if he were speaking to you in English. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe.